What's up, girls and boys? What's up, internet? I am Bianca and welcome back to another video on Rainy Games and Crytivo's upcoming farming and social sim, Sunnyside. So for today, we'll be tackling more of Sunnyside's features and game mechanics, which are available in the Influencer Alpha, to give you guys an idea of how things are and how they work in the game when it finally comes out. So for the second part of our features video, I'll be discussing farming, foraging, and the homestead customization mechanics in the game. Sunnyside's farming becomes available on the third day of your new farming life, right after you have met with Kat and she promises to send over some seeds for you. However, you can actually plant crops prior to that thanks to Gabe's potato, which he gifts to you after having dinner together. In order to plant seeds, you will need to have obtained your tools and have it equipped to plow the fields and make it ready for planting. Tools could be found in the cardboard box in your shed, and you have to make sure that the one you are selecting is for the crops and not the trees. Unless, of course, you're actually planting a tree. You can plant anywhere within your farmland as well. One thing the game doesn't outright tell you is that you can make farming easier on yourself by making use of the right mouse button. Using the right mouse button triggers the camera so that you can specifically select a tile to plow or plant seeds in. Without using it, I found it personally difficult as you can't really easily pinpoint the area where you've plowed, as the highlighted tile only moves when you move your character and not by moving the camera around. This is also the very same problem I had with watering, which is something that was remedied with using the aforementioned right mouse button. Watering in Sunnyside is done by using the hose. There are two hoses in your farm, one at the back end of the homestead and another near the road. When it comes to using the hose, you also have to make sure that there is water in the tank, which you can refill using the pump by the shed. Another thing that I noticed while doing farm work is that it eats up a decent chunk of stamina, to the point that even a few amount of crops can leave you tired after you've tended to them. It doesn't help that refilling the water tank using the pump eats up just as much stamina, and although you can regenerate some of it when you eat, it still proves a little bit problematic when a majority of tasks handed to you at the start of the game requires stamina. Thankfully, the actual act of planting seeds and harvesting crops does not consume stamina. As for the seeds, at the start of the game, you can choose to purchase potatoes from Sako's general store, or you just make do with the ones Gabe gave you. Kat also gives you a couple of strawberry seeds to start with, and she'll deliver it to you on the third day. But if you actually want to buy a wider variety of seeds, then you can just open up your phone and buy from Sunnyseed using their app, which is again something Kat notifies you about and gives you via a text message. Take note that you would have to pay for the delivery fee, and it would take, at the very least, a whole day for it to be delivered. There is an option for same-day delivery, but it's not available just yet and it costs more, while there is also the cheaper economy option with slow delivery rate. As for selling crops, we sell them at Sakos, which compared to games like Story of Seasons and Stardew Valley is quite a chore. Again, because of how far apart these locations are and how time-consuming walking to these destinations can be. Now, let's move on to foraging. In the Influencer Alpha, I have so far only found 2 forageable items, and these are the mushrooms that grow on some tree stumps scattered in Sunnyside and berries that grow on some of the bushes, provided they don't glitch out on you and disappear as you are walking towards them. You can also chop for lumber and mine for rocks and ore from the trees and boulders that are found in Sunnyside. These are useful for when you finally unlock and decide to customize and upgrade stuff in your homestead. More on that in a little bit, or for when crafting materials for said customization. Apart from that, there really isn't anything else to add or say about this particular section. Foraging is a good and lucrative way to make money though, especially early on when you're waiting for your crops to grow. Now, I think that this next section is the one that's making people curious, as it is a different take on homestead customization. Like I've said in the previous video, customizing your farm requires that you have talked to Kat and she has pointed you over to Hiro. Like I've said in the previous video as well, Hiro is the one who gives you the drone you will need to spruce up your farm. Now, from my experience in the Influencer Alpha, building stuff in Sunnyside requires tons of grinding for materials. It can take you days, maybe even months, depending on how you go about your daily activities and chores to just build a house. What's cool about Sunnyside's take on this is that you can actually see how your homestead will look even before you've finished building things, as you can use the drone to put placeholders in the form of these holographic projections of where the buildings or the items would be. It personally made me feel excited to see what my homestead would look like once I've gathered all the materials. You can gather all of the materials and put them into the building you are, building, or you can just work on the list one by one and deposit the materials as you go. Both are an option to you in the game, and as you put these materials in, you will slowly see, especially in bigger projects like your house, these buildings come together. But as with some of the things in this version of the game, the controls feel a little bit scuffed, which again I am hoping is fixed when the full version of the game comes out. And that's it for today's video. So, are the features and game mechanics featured in this video what you expect or hope to play in Sunnyside, or were you surprised with their take on it? Tell me on the comment section below. Personally, despite my issues with the controls, I am loving what they did with the whole building and customization thing. Granted, it's still a bit confusing and I feel like it's still missing quite a couple of mechanics to it, not to mention that there are still bugs present, but it's still fun and innovative to use. Anyways, for the next video, I will be showing you guys how cooking and fishing works, as well as the crafting aspect of the game. So I hope to see you guys there as well. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Bye bye for now. Keep safe.
Someday we'll have a last conversation, our last cup of coffee.